Hey everyone, so I thought it was time for us to do a collection showcase. So just to go through everything that I do have when it comes to Flesh and Blood. So I have three important binders, if you will, and then I also have set binders, but we won't do the set binders. So starting off, I have this little black binder, and this is all my excess cold foils, if you will. So any cold foils where I don't mind, trading them or selling them, because I do have multiple copies, and the glare is a bit annoying. Where can I position? Oh, I can tilt that a bit more, raise it. Okay, so obviously I have a library, got a rainbow foil, not cold foil actually, I think it is. We'll grab it out so we can see. Yeah, just a rainbow foil, great library, Solana. Funny story, I ended up buying it because, well, I thought I wasn't going to get a cold foil one. And then my partner and I opened a box right when it was in the mail. And what would you know? I got a cold foil library. So, yeah, so it goes in the excess. Then we also have two Bravos, which are pretty nice. Also two Emperors, less nice because they are, hold up, they are far overprinted and not very useful. A Spirit of Irina. So again, if they're in this folder, I have multiple copies. I think the Spirit is a rainbow foil. I think they're rainbow foils too. Yeah, so cold foil, the Bravos, since they only come cold foil. Yes, I assume if we ever get a unlimited, there'd be rainbow foil versions, right? And then just a few randoms from Everfest mostly. So Clarity Potions. This was a bit weird. I guess I accidentally clicked 9 instead of 1 when I was buying them. Well, actually, no, sorry, I clicked 10, so I added a 0 somehow. So, yeah, I have 9 sashes of Zandakai, is that how you say it? Which I do think it is a pretty nice looking cold foil. You can get the shine, just because it has a lot of the, what are they called? The embossed sort of artistry on all the equipment. Obviously, it's not on the card, but I mean, in terms of sort of like the cloth robe has all the adornment, right? Same with all the wrist stuff and the little tassel here. So I do think that's a really pretty card. It is just a common and it's draconic too, so it's fairly limited. And a few more Everfest. The majority of my excess cold foils are from Everfest. I have a lot of Everfest still. I went way too hard on Everfest. I think I still have like at least 10 sealed cases, something like that. So enough to get another FaB if I want to try for that. We almost out of yeah, we are perfect. So Outsiders Dynasty Outsiders, here we are. So I've got the Quiver of Abyssal Depth, Trench of Sunken Treasure. I think they're both rainbow foil, yeah. And then another Emperor. I think this one's the cold foil. Right. No, that's another rainbow foil. I have the cold foil somewhere. Anything else super interesting? Oh, promos, excess promos. So all from the first sort of segments of events and giveaways, right? So all the ones from Arcane Rising and Welcome to Wraith. So what do we have? A Romper Club, Death Dealer, Harmonized Kadachi. No, so those 4, I need to reorganize. Welcome to Wraith, and then those 4 are the promos from the pseudo armor events. Were they armor events at that point? Yeah, I didn't play it. I did buy these. I joined Flesh and Blood around Crucible of War. Yeah, so my brother got me into TCGs again after many years, and well, we started MTG in War of the Spark era, just near the end of War of the Spark, which is also when Flesh and Blood arised. So a bit sad in that. Could have been on the ground level of Flesh and Blood. That would be great. Oh well, I still have some pretty loving cards to cherish, if you will. Yeah, so that's the excess binder. Nothing too spectacular about that, but still some decent, like the library is probably noteworthy, right? It's probably a couple hundred. Then we have my actual cold foil binder. In here is by sets. So we have my Welcome to Red cold foils. There is nowhere good to position because of the overhead light. If I tilt it a bit, there we go. That's no, the Goliath Gauntlet is horrid. No, you know what? I'll just take them out. Obviously, the big one here is the Scab Skin Motors. That's my only legendary from Welcome to Wraith. You can see Alpha. Obviously, if it's cold foil, it has to be Alpha. I get the foil somewhere? I guess there is one use for the overhead light, right? Okay, and then just commons. I don't think I have any rares. Common, yeah. And can't really complain. Scab skin. It's decent enough. Then Arcane Rising. Yeah, I don't have anything from Arcane Rising, unfortunately. Crucible of War, a mirror set of Mandible Claws, Aether Conduit, Centauri Saber. I think these are... Oh, there's one Majestic, a Crater Fist down the bottom. But then they're all rares. So I have gotten lucky in that extent. Were there any common cold foils in Crucible? There is. I haven't pulled any, weirdly. And then Monarch. Great to see. Luminaris, in its first iteration of overpoweredness, is now horrid. Too bad it's banned. It was a pretty expensive card, right? I mean, it's probably still decent because of the living legend and the fact that it's no longer usable. Yeah. And then the reprints. I'll probably do a video on that. It seems fairly bad. At least not strong. There's probably some other stuff you'd want to run instead of it. Phantasmal Footsteps. This is my favourite card from Mono. It's very pretty with all the pinks and whatnot, which is not banned because it's just illusion. So that is definitely still worth a pretty penny. Do I have any other? We have the Vestige of Soul. I think they're the only two legendaries I have. Oh, and a Valiant Dynamo. So I think I'm missing one, right? There's 4 legendaries in Mono. Some sort of shadow one. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the Carrion Husk. Is that it? And then a whole bunch of commons. A few Majestics. Then we have Tails. Legendary, Heart of Ice. Shock Charmers, that's 2. Do I have the Seed one? No. Is it Crown of Thorns or Crown of Seeds? Something like that. But no, I only have 2 legendaries from Tails, unfortunately. And a few of the M's. Then we have Everfest. So again, went pretty overboard with Everfest. I still think I'm missing the legendaries though. Silver Palms. Where's the shield? There's the Bastion. Bravo is not a legendary, right? So it's only 2. Yeah, so I'm still missing a few. So even in the ones I opened, I couldn't get that many. But then we get to Uprising. Uprising is probably the best pull so far. So Marvel, Icelander, Jakar, Morangi, Thamos. How many of the dragons do I have? Only 3? 4. Plus then the undead one. So missing gold, green, 7 or so, right, in total. So I'm missing 3 more? Something like that. And then... what is this? This is Dynasty, which I've definitely pulled more of. Yes, it definitely looks like that. With their, unfortunately, just black tier marvels. I don't know. We happy with this? After Uprising, I did kind of think this was sort of a letdown in terms of marveling. You know, it's not even better art, it's just a different frame. I thought that was a little bit of a letdown. And then for legendaries, we have Black Deck Whisperers, we have the Mask. No, Mask is not legendary. We do have a normal Cold Foil Emperor, not the Marvel. I would like to get the Marvel. Then the Nitro. No, that's also M. Where's. I should have. No, I think I only have a Rainbow Foil of Soraya, the Archangel. Yeah, so I only have 1 legendary, it looks like. Yep, only 1. That's not too bad. And then finally, Outsiders. So, Mask of Shifting Perspectives. Well, I was just about to list them off. No need to that. Should have a... I don't. I only got Rainbow Foil Trenches, it looks like. Yeah, so I do have a lot of the Rainbow Foils. It's easier to pull in the new 2.0, if you will. I think Vambrace of Determination is my only legendary from Outsiders. Though once I got a full set, if you will, Rainbow Fold included, I stopped opening. I'm still missing the Fabled, which, speaking of which, that's probably what we should get into next. So my Fabled collection will go in opposite order, right? So we have a Command and Conquer, Cold Foil. We have the Eye. No, Blood of Drakar. Looks like an eye, though. Rainbow Foil, unfortunately. That was not a pull, that was buy. If I get Rainbow Foils of the legendaries, I stop opening, and then I just buy the Fabled. It's a bit unfortunate. What else do we have? We have the Grandeur of Valhalla. Of Valhalla. Close enough. I think that's a cold foil. And where's the light? Here. Then we have a Kashim Crossroads cold foil. Then we have a Library of Solana, Channel Lake Frost, Lake Frigid, which I just keep because it is pretty. And the first three, only rainbow foil though. So Heart, an Eye, and an Arcanite Shard, all of which I bought. The majority of like these high-end ones that I did buy, I bought during the first big crash, if you will. That includes my only graded card, China. So it is what? It's a mint 9, it got 9.5 in centering edges, and then the corners and surface is a little bit Now, we'll take it out and have a look. Then I've actually scrutinized it. Okay. Apparently there is edge damage somewhere, at least to some degree. Can we see it? It looks like scratches on the glass though. Well, there's a little speck there, which you can see because it's shiny that it's sort of been indented when they did the foiling. Anything on the back? There looks to be some damage that's below the glass. And cornering is apparently bad. Yeah, these two are really cut, kind of bad. And then there's some damage on that corner. But overall, still, a 9 Cheyenne is decent. I don't know, but I don't really have an interest in graded cards. The only reason I got this was it was actually cheaper than buying a ungraded one at the time. So I just grabbed this, and if I ever want, I can always just crack it open and take the card out. Though why would I? Obviously, it's worth more graded, right? And 9 isn't bad. It's obviously not mint, but 2 9.5s is decent. Centering. Is the centering really off? I don't know about the centering. The size... No, this one is slightly smaller. Yeah. Alright, so the centering is off. It's not huge. Okay, and then the last folder to go over is, of course, going to be the alpha folder. So this one is massive, though, so I don't know where exactly we can put it. It'll fit. I'm going to have to naggle the camera a bit. Oh, and it's coming out a little. Yeah, so big binder for the alpha. A little, there we go, that's not bad for once. So, not a master set, there's obviously a lot missing, and not a lot of foils either. How many boxes is this from? It's not from a lot of boxes. Again, the majority of my early game cards came from buying pre-con decks. Okay, so there was a store somewhere, I forget where it was, and they were selling pre-constructed decks, if you will, from Welcome to Wraith, Arcane Rising, and Crucible War, and they had both types of cards. And they didn't. I don't think they knew what they had either, because I just bought. I probably bought like 200 or so, and I sifted out all of the cards, you know, according to the the little tags, any with the dash rather than the circle. I pulled them out and assembled my collection, if you will. I don't think there was any huge pulls from it. Maybe some Majestics, but nothing extraordinary. Obviously, there's probably playsets of commons and rares at this point, but not Majestics. Oh, look at that. I'm only missing one equipment from Guardian. Whatever is number 41. Let me know. Ninja, a little bit better. We're missing Twinning Blades Crucible War. I'm off my rocker. Missing a few for Durantia. And obviously I've taken out any cold foils. Cold foils aren't in this alpha. There is a foil energy potion. I think that's a decent job. There's also the drones. Isn't drone meant to be pink? No, what card had the pink? I thought it was drone, right? Was that Arcane Rising had pinks? Crazy Brew. Ah, there we go. We'll grab this out. A Tome of Berendale. So it is a foil tome. Ooh, where's the light now? Being blocked, I think. Oh, there we are. The foil tome. That, I think, is the best card in the binder, right? Yeah. Royal Energy Potion, I think, is also a decent card. Anything else? Crack Bubble, Razor Reflex. No. And then here we have Crew. These are all my first edition Crew cards. Again, no full playsets. I didn't open that many. Any cards of note? No, not really. For Spoil of War, maybe. No, doesn't look like it. And then... Oh, still going for Crew. Never mind. Where's the end of Crew? There's the end of Crew. So this is now Arcane Rising, which definitely has the least amount of cards. Again, these are definitely anything I just pulled from those precons. I never went hunting, if you will. So what do we have? We have Take Cover, Take Aim, Rare, Rare, Rare. I don't think there is any M's. No, and then just these cards up here, if you will. So I scoot back and forth because I am out of space on my little desk. And this side is getting significantly heavy. And then we have the precon decks as well. They were a few cards slot in there. Wrecker Romp. I think that's a very early promo. We have to go back to the other binder. I forgot the promos at the very back. And then any of the extended art cards as well, from any of the sets. It doesn't really matter. So Monarch, I think that's probably the biggest one. And what do we have here? Cracked Bubbles and other little promos. Yeah. Okay, so we'll close this, and then I've got to just go over the promo cards for my cold foil binder. Oh, heavy binder. At the back, there is still a few more cards of interest. Yeah. So although I do buy from Alpha Investments, these were just from eBay. I was not part of Rudy's Patreon or buyer list, if you will, to get Monarch or promos. So there should be one copy of each of the Welcome Wraith and Arcane Rising promos. And we also have a Benji, a Cavadin, and a Data Doll. All three of which came just when I was buying boxes, to be honest. They just were given to me, which was very nice. And then one promo that I did buy was Rhina, Reckless Rampage. There you are. 001 promo. So that's sort of the main reason I grabbed it, is it has the 1 on it. I don't think the Hero Cold Foils are worth too much, right? Might be a few hundred. But I thought it was pretty neat. One thing I do feel a bit sad about is obviously they've come a bit of a ways from cold foiling when it comes to heroes. So in these old cards, the only cold foil really is the border. Nothing about the actual hero, which was kind of interesting to me because they still had the idea to foil, you know, everything about a card, but just with heroes they never did. So they're all just border cold foils. Even Cheyenne, which disappoints me. It would be nice to see her fully cold foil. What can you do? They're still the early game, and they're still susceptible to the terms, conditions, little guideline that they put out saying that they can't reprint cold foils as a cold foil. Right. Yeah, so that is my collection, and it's took a bit longer than expected. Favorite card? Do I have a favorite card? Probably the Cheyenne. There was Cheyenne and Mask of Momentum were the two cards I was most interested in buying. I could actually, you know, putting out a decent chunk of money for. So I went with Cheyenne instead of the Mask of Momentum. I don't know. I think Cheyenne is pretty decent. I'm not speculative or anything like that, but obviously being a hero, Cheyenne has more applications. As more cards come out, she might see more use. She might become more popular, and then they might even just do something with shapeshifters. So yeah, I'll say Cheyenne as my favorite card. Favorite FaB. How about that? Well, I do like the alt art Command and Conquer. Thought that was quite pretty. Otherwise, Channel Lake Frigid definitely. It's probably my prettiest card, or the card I think is the most prettiest. Very, very nice. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you find it interesting. See ya.